Hey there, my friend. Before we dive into today's topic, let me share something straight from the heart. Behind this podcast, there's a real person, me, pouring time, love, and an unhealthy amount of caffeine into creating content that matters. These words, this conversation, it's all crafted with one goal: to reach you, to help you, and maybe even change your life. So, if you find value in this podcast, if you appreciate these raw and honest discussions, please hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, like, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. It costs you nothing, but to me, it's everything. All right, enough from me. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Salud al Día. Today we're going deep. We're talking about something that every single one of us has felt at some point, whether we like to admit it or not: family wounds. More specifically, we're talking about healing your relationship with your parents. Now, I know this isn't easy, it's not casual dinner conversation, but here's the thing. Healing isn't just about them, it's about you. It's about breaking cycles, finding peace, and making sure that the patterns of pain stop with you. Maybe your dad made mistakes, he said things he shouldn't have, or he wasn't always there when you needed him. Maybe your mom wasn't supportive of your dreams, or she judged your choices in ways that still sting. Or maybe it's something bigger, something heavier that's been sitting in your chest for years. Whatever it is, here's what I want you to know. Healing doesn't start when they apologize, or when they change, or when they finally say the words you've been longing to hear. Healing starts when you decide that you're ready to let go. Not for them, but for you. But let's address something important here. Family trauma is generational. It didn't start with your parents. It started long before them, with your grandparents, and even before that. Your parents weren't born knowing how to love perfectly, how to support flawlessly, or how to be emotionally available all the time. They carried their own wounds into parenthood. Maybe your dad was raised by someone who didn't show affection. Maybe your mom was taught to suppress her feelings to survive. And you know what? They probably did the best they could with the tools they had. But here's the thing. Just because they did their best doesn't mean you didn't get hurt. And just because they were victims of their own family trauma doesn't mean it's okay for you to carry that pain forward. Someone has to break the cycle. Someone has to say, it stops with me. And my friend, that someone is you. Healing doesn't mean excusing their behavior. It doesn't mean pretending the hurt didn't happen. It means looking at the hurt, acknowledging it and saying, this ends here. I will not pass this pain on to my children. I will not let this define my relationships, my love, my peace. So, where do we start? Let's break this down into something tangible. First, accept your parents as humans. They're not superheroes and they're not villains. They're people. Imperfect, flawed, scared, and sometimes lost. Just like you. Maybe they didn't have the tools to do better. Maybe they did, and they still made mistakes. Either way, when you stop seeing them as these towering figures who should have been perfect, and you start seeing them as humans who made human errors, something shifts inside you. Next, let go of the expectation that they will change. Healing isn't about fixing them, it's about fixing you. If they change, great. But if they don't, you can still heal. You can still be at peace. Because this isn't about waiting for them to give you something. They might never be able to give it. This is about you deciding to move forward. Start with small steps. Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's a message that says, hey, I've been thinking about you. You don't have to pour your heart out all at once. Healing happens in layers. One conversation, one moment, one choice at a time. And when you're ready, if you feel safe enough, have an honest conversation. Not during an argument, not when emotions are running high, but in a calm moment with an open heart. Use I statements. Say, I felt hurt when, instead of you always, blame builds walls, vulnerability builds bridges. And don't forget the power of boundaries. Forgiving someone doesn't mean letting them hurt you over and over again. Boundaries aren't about punishment. They're about protection. They say, I love you, but I can't allow this behavior in my life anymore. Boundaries are an act of love toward yourself and toward them. Gratitude is another powerful tool. Now, I know this one can feel tricky, but if you can, try to find something to be grateful for. Maybe your dad worked tirelessly to put food on the table. Maybe your mom stayed up late when you were sick. Gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it adds balance to the story. And here's the big one, take care of yourself. Whether it's therapy, journaling, leaning on a friend, or just finding time to breathe, you need space to process. Healing is hard work, and you deserve support along the way. Now let's talk about your future children, or your current ones if you're already a parent. They're watching, they're learning. They'll see how you treat your parents, how you handle forgiveness, how you handle conflict. And one day when you mess up, and trust me, you will because we all do, they'll know how to forgive you. They'll know that love isn't about perfection. It's about showing up over and over again, even when it's hard. At the end of the day, your parents won't be here forever. There will come a day when you'll wish you had one more conversation, one more hug, one more chance to say, I love you. Don't let pride or resentment steal those moments from you. Healing your relationship with your parents doesn't mean everything becomes perfect. It means you can sit together without resentment bubbling up in your chest. It means you can share a meal, a laugh, a memory, without bitterness stealing the joy. So start today. Not when you feel ready, not when they apologize. Start now. A text, a call, a prayer, something small, but something real. You're not responsible for their healing, but you are responsible for yours. And when you heal, you don't just heal for yourself. You heal for your children, your grandchildren, and every generation that comes after you. All right, my friends, that's it for today. If this episode touched your heart, if it made you think, if it sparked something inside you, please subscribe, leave a review and share it with someone who might need to hear it. You never know whose life you might change with one simple share. This is Salud al Día, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Stay brave, stay kind, and most importantly, stay open to healing. This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only, and should not be considered a substitute for professional counseling, therapy, or advice. Always seek help from a qualified professional if you need it.